You can download most of your purchases with online banking through Quickbooks. Click Banking here on the navbar to access your downloaded transactions. QuickBooks shows you a list of downloaded transactions here. Each one of these lines represents a different instance in which you spent money or deposited money into your bank or credit card account. While they're in the For Review tab, though, they don't count towards any of your account balances. Your job in this window is to give QuickBooks more details about each transaction and then add them so that they affect your reports and financial statements. Let's take a closer look at this transaction. Here we see when the transaction took place, as well as how much money we spent as a negative amount. But there's also something called the bank detail. This is information sent from the bank, and it usually tells you who the transaction was with. It's usually a good idea to enter a payee if QuickBooks doesn't do it for you automatically. The company we paid isn't on any of our lists, so type its name into the payee field and click Add. Then click Save. Notice that QuickBooks adds the same payee name to other transactions further down the list. That's because those transactions have the same or similar bank details, and so QuickBooks knows that they were with the same payee. Right now, QuickBooks thinks we spent money on uncategorized expenses. We want to have a little bit more detail than that on our financial statements, though. These categories appear on a special list called the Chart of Accounts. Don't let this accounting term confuse you. It simply means your list of categories. Select an account or category that best describes what you paid for. Tax-deductible business expenses, which appear on your profit and loss, are a special type of account called an expense type. But occasionally you may need to record the purchase of a new vehicle or some equipment, which is a fixed asset type. Or you might make a payment to the owner, which you record with this equity type account. But in most cases, it's quite straightforward. For instance, we paid for office supplies, so we'll use this office supplies expense account to categorize it. QuickBooks assigns the same account to other transactions with the same payee. If you don't want QuickBooks to do that, though, change the setting here. Click Add, and the transaction goes into QuickBooks. We can look it up just like any other transaction. Click the Search button, and here's the transaction we just added. As we recorded that transaction, QuickBooks memorized all of the settings on the transaction and applied them to other transactions from the same vendor. You can still click in a field and override those details, though, but we don't need to, so we'll click Add. Now we've added that transaction as well. Anytime you spend money with an electronic funds transfer, debit card, credit card, or essentially anything that's not a check, you can download it directly from a bank or credit card.